Willkommen. Ich begrüße Sie. Willkommen zurück zu den Thailand Talks. Wir haben die Thailand Talks jetzt wegen der Corona-Geschichte online gestellt. Das ist eine Veranstaltungsreihe von der Abteilung für Südostasienwissenschaften der Universität Bonn in Zusammenarbeit mit der Stiftung Asienhaus. Wie Sie sehen können, haben wir ganz spannende Vorträge mit Autorinnen, Akademiker, Wissenschaftler, aber auch thailändische Exilaktivistin. Und heute haben wir eine sehr, sehr bekannte Exil-Thailänderin zu Gast, Neko. Ist als Transgender-Aktivistin bekannt und ist in Thailand für eine Kampagne gegen den Uniformzwang an den Hochschulen bekannt geworden, aber ist seitdem als ausgesprochene Kritikerin der Monarchie bekannt geworden. Und wie die meisten von Ihnen wissen, gibt es in Thailand ein sogenanntes Majestätsbeleidigungsgesetz. Das heißt, man darf den König nicht beleidigen, man darf ihn aber auch nicht kritisieren, auch wenn man ihn nicht beleidigt. Neko, kann man sagen, hat wahrscheinlich beides gemacht. Sie ist nämlich unerschrocken und hat die Monarchie sehr offen kritisiert und wird deswegen auch von vielen Monarchisten in Thailand gehasst. Daher ist sie eine sehr kontroverse Persönlichkeit. Dafür wird sie umso mehr geliebt von den Demokratieanhängern, von den thailändischen Demokratieanhängern, weil sie eben sehr mutig diese Kritik vorträgt und kein Blatt vorm Mund nimmt. Und deswegen musste Neko auch Thailand verlassen. Sie musste flüchten, damit sie nicht wegen Majestätsbeleidigung ins Gefängnis kommt. Und sie lebt seitdem in Frankreich, in Paris, was nicht die schlechteste Wahl war, und ist seitdem im Exil auch weiterhin unheimlich aktiv. Tritt sie ein für Demokratie in Thailand, gegen die Monarchie, aber auch für die Rechte von Geflüchteten in Europa, weil sie selbst als Geflüchteter hier Asyl bekommen hat. Ich freue mich sehr, dass du da bist. Wird sehr netterweise auf Deutsch vortragen. Das ist natürlich nicht ihre Muttersprache und Französisch kann sie auch fließend, aber sie wird es trotzdem auf Deutsch versuchen, weil unser Französisch und unser Teil für die Veranstaltung wahrscheinlich nicht ausreicht. Und dafür bedanke ich mich auch sehr bei dir. Du wirst circa eine halbe Stunde referieren und wir haben danach genug Zeit, um auch zu diskutieren. Die Diskussion wird auch mitgeschnitten. Ich gebe dann einfach dir das Wort.
Hallo, ja. Hallo alle, ich heiße und vielen Dank für alles, was Oliver für uns gemacht hat. Das ist nicht so einfach, wenn man so, wie uns, die Flüchtlinge, Thailänder und Thailänderinnen hier etwas zu machen. Das ist nicht so einfach für uns, etwas zu machen. Und und Oliver und viele Leute hier, die so immer für uns gearbeitet haben, das ist sehr, sehr für uns sehr, wie heißt das? Ich habe das Wort vergessen, aber thank you so much for all the things that you have done for us. And this situation is very hard for us to realize any action because of what we have known that the King of Thailand, he is trying to chase us again. So why I said again, because as what happened with Pawin, a Thai refugee in Japan. So it's the case that he was attacked in his bedroom in his house, and the Thai king and all the regime doesn't stop all the repression just at the end of the frontier or the border, but the repression and all the oppression they try to make it comes all around the world right now. It means it's a transnational or repression regime. I mean that even though we fled from all countries, Thailand to Laos to Cambodia to Vietnam, Japan, or even in Europe, so everywhere it's dangerous for us. Überall. So that will be the point that I will put in the part of my presentation. And yeah, thank you a lot for all the students and the people who are interested in studying in Thai politics, because as you have known that in Europe, even here, I don't know in Germany, but in France, many people quite ignore the subject, and Thailand seems to be very far away from their perception of geopolitics and all kind of conflict that lead to the violence situation, like the assassination of Thai refugee in Laos, and also all the aggression that had been made by the king and the regime recently in Japan and in other parts. So I could not go into the detail of any cases, but I confirm to you that Europe today is not safe, and for me, my case, I still cannot say where I am. That's a kind of the example, the concrete example to show that nowadays, the regime's trying to do in every way to shut our mouths up. So Munsu, wenn man über Thailand sprechen will, that is crazy. Weil der König immer etwas kontrollieren will und kann nicht he cannot stand anymore that someone try to criticize or to touch the power. So in the first part, I want to introduce about what it's in relation between the Uniformisierung and also the monarchy and military. So when we are talking quite often about political science, about what the monarchy does to the society, what kind of a regime we are living in, what kind of constitutional power he has, the king has, and how he manipulates all of this information and the power he has in his hand. So this is a kind of the subject that many of political scientists try to say, I don't know how to say in English, but in France we say like that, like sometimes we have some word like politolog. So I forgot how to translate it. So many of the people who are interested in political science try to analyze all the power of the king and the regime throughout the lens of as I say, the institutions, the laws, legislative, and also the representation in public sphere and in political sphere, and also the action that seem to be very touchable or something kind of like we can see it directly that the king gives the order to someone to kill someone, some kind like this. It's become the object of the research in your domain. But for my part, I would like to analyze the political situation in Thailand in a more social context. And also try to make the relation between how the Thai society creates the sphere of fear, the regime of fear, and also how they use this kind of regime to constitute the informations and also the knowledges that have been put into the society to brainwash the kids and the population, the whole population in Thailand. And with this kind of when I say about the uniformization, it's not just that they put you into the uniform, as we have seen that Thailand is one of not many countries in the world that still force the students, school students to wear the uniform until university. So there's just 2 or 3 universities in Thailand that open the chance, allow the people to wear whatever they want to university. But most of them in Thailand, 99% of the kids until the university or college student, so they still have to wear uniform. That is just a part of how this society try to control, how to control your body and your mind and also your mentality throughout that. But in the same time, these kind of institutions, they also reproduce the way of knowledge the governments and the states that want to put in our mind. So people have been taught to be obedient, to be submissive, and to be passive when there's kind of like an active communication from the state. I mean, from our generation, there's a change because we have access to internet and the globalization that came in place and allow us to be outside of the box that the Thai state tried to create in. But this way of uniformizing the people by the body control, by making them obey to the order, even for how to wear your clothes, so they still do not have the freedom to decide for themselves. So when it's about what's in mind, what is the die Weltanschauung about the politics, about the culture, so they will go in the same way that the state want to do. So this is a kind of like a bio pouvoir. So I don't know in English, like bio power. This is a kind of the things that I want to show that Thai state still working as a repressive regime, but in the same time, there's a kind of logics that the state try to create. There's the technology that they use to control us throughout all the inventions of the state, like the special ceremony of the state. So in Thailand, so it's kind of like many authoritarian regimes that use some of the special events of the state to celebrate some of the national value. And the national value in Thailand is about nation, Buddhism, and also the monarchy. When they talk about religion in Thailand, it's just only Buddhism. So because the king also controls the Buddhism and also is the patron like patronage for the Buddhism, and also he is like le parrain of Buddhism, so the king still need to support it. So that's a kind of the relation of the value between nation, religion, Buddhism, and also the monarchy. So these 3 values have been the main keys of understanding how the states and the institutions use this value to put in our brain, to install it in our brains and also in our mentality. So the state use this kind, a lot of technology, social technology to create a lot of occasion. For example, the Mother Day is the birthday of the Queen Sirikit, that's still alive. So the mother of the current king. So and that day, the Father Day, it's on the birthday of the last king Raman IX. So King Bhumibol. So his birthday was presented as the center of the nation as the Nation Day. Actually, in the past, before the arrival of Saritanarat, actually the Nation Day it's on 24 June. It's about the Siamese revolution against the absolute monarchy. So the state used this kind of technique to change it and change all the signification about nation. So the nation that is about the revolution, so it has been erased and it has been put aside, and And now, right now, they replace it with the king's birthday of the King Ramanai. So this is a kind of the example I try to show you, and I want you to see it quite clearly with the photo. So I'm trying to see how to share my how to say my screen, so that you will see a bit clear about how the kids in Thailand have been taught in school, and also how the people behave, and the behavior of the people in society. It also shows us how we have been so submissive when it's about the monarchy and also the nation value. So yeah, partager écran. So if you see on the on my screen, you will see that the kids in school, the kids in kindergarten. So yeah, sometimes we can understand that maybe they are so young, so they don't know what to wear, so we put something in their in their body, for their body. But when they grow up, or they still have to wear uniform, even though they are a teenager. And also many of Thai people who are already adults and still need to to go to university, they still have to wear a uniform. So you will see it's so sexy, you know. It's also sexualized when it's about school uniform, and people have the fantasy about that. But actually, we are not going to talk about how it's sexualized. But the thing is that even though you are adults, actually you are above 18, 19 years old, but you cannot even control your body. So the state already thinks instead of you about what to wear, what to do, and how to behave yourself in public life. So, and this kind of institution try to make people to be like, as I say, to be like the kids. Although you are old enough, although you are 20, 30 years old, the society still treats everybody as the kids. It means that the kids that still wait for the order all the time. So the way that they look about the form of kindheit, or some kind of how to say, about what the kid is still a repressive kids. It means like it's not the kid that can how to say, things and reflect on their own. So people will not trust you when they see, when you are seen as a kid. So it's not like in the same society in other places that the kids have been taught to be independent, to be strong, and to be able to think by their own. But the kids in Thailand is a kind of submissive. There's a lot of idiom that try to say that if you love your kids, you need to punish them. So in Thai, it's รักวัวให้ผูกรักลูกให้ตี It's something ridiculous, because this expression literally it means if you love the cow, you have to tie the cow with the tree or something, so that the cow will not go away, fuck something. And also when you love the kids, you have to do the same. So you have to punish your kids so that the kids will not do something crazy. And how to say, and the Thai people have been punished all the time when we do not follow the rules of the monarchy and also the rule of the nation value. So for example, there's a real punishment about the people who want to criticize the king. So Majestätsbeleidigungsgesetz, as you have known, that is 112, Article 112, that punish the people who try to criticize the monarchy in general. Actually, it's about the king and also, how to say, the regents, the queen, and also the crown prince, crown princess. But in reality, the people that criticize even the dog of the king was already in prison. So Thai state used this kind of law to how to say, to punish anyone who doesn't belong to the Thai values society. So that is a kind of the way that the state use this technology of the laws, legislative law, to punish the people. But in the same time, it's not just only the law that punish you, but the social sanction is still a phenomenon in Thailand, especially for those who don't love the king. Right now in social media, you may see the progress of the people who criticize the monarchy without being socially sanctioned than before. But in the past, as you have seen, when the king died in 2-3 years ago, in 2016, actually, the wave of the hatred became more intense, especially towards those who celebrate the death of King Bhumibol. So it's a kind of the peakest point that all the royalists in Thailand or in Europe, they are ready to break the laws of European unions, any kind of country in France, in Germany, to chase the people who were making the video clips against the king, including me. At that time, many people, they say that, yeah, we have the king as the center of our hearts, so we will dedicate our lives for him, even though we have to be in French prison. I don't fear any kind of these things. So this is the way that the state brainwash the people collectively and even make them think that their identity is very related to the three values. So the nation, Buddhist, and the monarchy. And that is the key that why the Thai society today is gonna change, because people right now we realize that there's this kind of power that has been put in place for a long time, and people become more and more aware of how the king and the repressive regime use the power against the opponents. So people see more clearly that the regime is not pure like before. So pure in before, I mean that they make us believe that, yeah, they did only good things, but actually it's not a pure goodness, but it's how the way they create this kind of perception for the Thai people to think that, yeah, because of the monarchy and the king and the society, Thai society can survive without them, or we will die, we will all die. And that is the illusion that they try to make us believe. And yes, of course, many of us believe like that. So yeah, this is a kind of a political anatomy that you have seen. When I talk about the body, the mind, how people behave in society, to chase, to sanction, to do the witch hunts against the others, is a kind of like a political anatomy. So it's about the mechanic, the pouvoir is a kind of like the power mechanic that that is about the control of your body and someone else's body. It's not necessarily your, but the state use that to control the body of the others and the mind of the other. So it's also very effective, as you have seen that before the King Rama X came to power. Many of Thai people, they do believe, you know, that the King Rama IX, he is the best demigod on earth. So he did a lot of good things for the Thai society. So we could not criticize anything about his action. So, and it's a kind of like the consensus in Thailand. First, people are afraid to say that I don't believe in this. And secondly, is that many of them, most of them really believe like that because of the propaganda. If you saw in history of Thailand, you will understand that why the propaganda and all the stuffs were created to brainwash us completely like that. So you have to go to see the context of the Cold War, how the US come to Thailand. So I think many people already talk about that, how the US came into power, take all the geopolitical predominance in origin and use the Thai king and monarchy as the main institution against communism. And that's why there were a lot of propaganda created, the video of a Thai king that walk in the water, work hard, and there's like one of the when you're too hot, and then there's a conspiration when you switch, you will see a picture of that, and to remind you every time that the king did a lot of good thing for Thai people. And in school as well, not only the school uniform has been imposed to students and children and young adults in Thailand, but in any special event, something like that, we have seen Father Day, Mother Day, Nation Day. So it's about king and queen, crazy, and it's public holiday. But in the same time, when you go to school, in every classroom, there will be the picture of the king upper on the board, on the whiteboard. So everyone see it he's there, he's Big Brother is watching us. It's a kind of that picture, like in 1984. Actually, is a kind of the regime. That's but the strange thing is that it's a capitalist authoritarian regime, because in the same time you have to see that it's a kind of like the monarchy agrees to work with the U.S. So he really hates the pseudo-communist countries or the leftist movement in other countries. So he always work with the U.S. so closely, the King Ramana, I mean. So it gives some part of the liberty to people, to Thai citizens, mean that you have economic liberty for rich people, not for poor people, that's for sure. And in the same time, you don't have some kind of liberty to criticize the people who control your liberty. So it's not a real liberty, it's just like a kind of sense of the partial freedom that they give to you partially, not totally. So that people will think that it's okay to live like this. And so the hierarchy between the rich people in Bangkok and poor people who cannot get the access to the resources like the rich people, kind of like this dynamic that even though the monarchy controls all the things, but in the same time they use also the social hierarchy to control the people, use poor people to use to work hard in rural and come to work hard again in the city, and kind of like this. But people still think that the situation is better than in other countries. Thai people, they were in the election that Thai country, we see we are communist like the other countries, so they will be poorer than us, like there are more people from other country, from Laos, from came to work in a country, how the communism doesn't work, something like that. People were poor, so no more socialist republics anymore in the world. So Thai society, even though we are not the richest, but we are good, we have the fish in the rice farm, something like this kind of expression. ในประเทศไทยมีในนามีข้าว I forgot that's in Thai, so but they try to use that. In Thailand, there are food, there are fish, there are a lot of things to that allow you to live. So, and thank you to the Thai monarchy, but actually they try to conceal all the problem of the class problem between the rich and the poor, and try to use this to make people forget about the oppression the monarchy did to Thai people. And why is it about the military as well? When we talk about this Beopua and the king, when I talk recently from the beginning, you may think that maybe it's just only the king that control the power, but actually they use the monarchy as the tool, the power tool to transmit all the orders to the governments that control the people again. So it's a kind of the pyramid control. And it's like maybe the king who is on the top of this pyramid control all the things, but people will not see it that who is on the upper side or on the highest of the pyramid, because it's kind of like people were put aside. It's like when you are under, you just see that it's just only the government that control us. It's just only the government, because you don't see what is behind the government. And this is how it's worked in Thailand. I mean that the people who are the main base of the pyramids were hidden by the governments, that no, it's not about the military, it's not about the monarchy, but actually yeah, because clearly if you just watch like that without any transparent structural vision, so you will see just only what is upper, the first bit, not the second and the third. So the monarchy use, yeah, for example, the military and also Buddhism also to control the people about, yeah, when it's about, yeah, the religion they use. Also some of Pasankhalat, for example, it's like the king of Buddhism to control the main how to say, the main tendency of the Thai people who believe in Dhammakaya or something different from the mainstream Theravada Buddhism, yeah, will be chased away and hunted away. So this is the case that the Thai king just want to maintain the order of the religion and also the political sphere throughout the military. So each time there's a strong government that is against the view of the monarchy and also against the view of the interest of the monarchy. So the monarchy will support the coup d'etat, the military regime, to come and take the power and implement all the new structures of the society that allow them to maintain their power, especially in the last 10 years that we had two coup d'etat in 2006 and 2014. And yeah, this is a kind of like the monarchy support the military regime to give back the power to the king, because after the Siamese revolution in 1932, actually they don't want to come back to the real absolute monarchy, but they think that to be legitimate in the modern world, so yeah, you have to justify the existence of your state, that yeah, we live in democracy, we have constitution, we have the vote, but sometimes the military regime and the international world, they will see that, oh, maybe sometimes it's in dictatorship, just military, it's not about the king, but they try to use like this, and once the military regime cannot be legitimate anymore, so they will give us back the election, but with the new constitution that is even more repressive and more dictatorial than before. And this how it's work. Let the system run a little bit when the power of the people seem to be stronger, so you put military in place, the king put military in place. So when the military seem to be too weak, not so strong, so give back the power, rewrite the constitution, and control the people throughout the new laws. And it's a kind of like a vicious circle. So it will never end until when the people see that throughout the pyramid, there is not just only the government here, but there's the military, religion, up the elite people who work for the king, oligarchy, and also the monarchy. And it's crazy that all the people, even the military, religions group, something like that, they don't have even a dominant power against the view of the monarchy. This is not the case like in many countries that you may see that the head of state maybe not as strong as we thought. It's like maybe in some state there will be a group of the religious people who can negotiate the power with the head of state and then create some kind of power of, for example, in Iran or some other places, or some of the country that military is really strong and also can negotiate with the king for how to control the country and govern the people. But in Thailand, as I have talked since the beginning, is that you have grown up in this society that everyone just stay in line. I mean, Thai people are not the most disciplinary. Disciplinary in the basic life. Like we need to stand in line without cheating. Other people still cheat in Thailand all the time. We do not ever respect the laws in a kind of like if you know, casino in Thailand is illegal, sex work in Thailand is illegal, but you know you can do it. You cheat all the time, you give money under the table. But when it's about the mentality, how you have your own value, how you try to relate your identity to the public goodness, So you will be very respectful, you will be very disciplinary in the same way. So you will not go left or right. It's only monarchy, nation, Thai flag. You cannot put your feet on Thai flag or your feet on the face of the king or something like that. It's something that's impossible to think in Thai society. So people grow up with this kind of things, and also with the punish people afraid to speak out and say that we do not agree with the power and all the instruments that the power the regime implements for us. So that's a kind of way that even the people who have power, like the monarchy, like the military. So if they want to take the power and kill the king and then become the head of state, in establish a new state and put the princess into power, something like that. Even though they can theoretically they can, that's not what I suppose it to happen. Because I am for the real republic, socialist republic, anarchist, some kind of things. Yeah, but the things that we could see theoretically is that Thai military, they are really strong. They have the weapons, they have all the stuff, some military stuff, because the government always gave them very, very, enormous budget on the military and also the materials. So if they want to do something, they can. And we also have the reserve, a lot of the military reserve in Thailand, if you look at the number. And the thing is that this kind of things that happen is that the old military people, in order to be able to negotiate with the king and say that if you don't follow us, if you don't behave yourself better, so you will not have this kind of money to fly back to Germany. But no, that's not what's happened in Thailand. It's like everyone is very submissive, and especially with this king, he used more force. With the King Ramana, it's a kind of like, it's a soft power. It's a really latent biopower that they use to make all the people very submissive and obedient, so without having to use the force against them or to kill them or something like. They put some people in prison, even more. But the King Rama X, the new invention, not something very new with him, because he already killed many people even before he became the king. But right now, when he becomes the king, so he tried to use the hard power to kill, to punish people, and to make people realize that it's not only 112 that is the problem. It's the unpredictable power that he can control everything throughout his team to chase away some people, who put some people in prison, and also try to oppress people or directly without fearing that people will know that it's from him. So he's a kind of like the power controller that doesn't fear of controlling his power, direct power. So I'm about to show you the how to say. Before I finish, I would like to see that how Thai people also live with this kind of things, and we get used to being punished. Actually, for example, if you see this, how the Thai kids got punished when they don't cut their hair. For example, we will punish, humiliate them like this when they go back home or take the bus, public transportation. People will see that you are the people who don't respect the societal rules, the moral rule of the society. So we get used to living with this. Nobody want to protest. If somebody may try to do the campaign today, because the time changes and we are more freer to express ourselves freely. We see that there's other options. We do not need to live just only in this kind of world that people put the uniform on us and we have to follow and cannot disobey. But everything is gonna change. So but still Thai people still need to be punished by this, by the school, by the family. As I say, if you love your kid, you have to punish, you have to hit them, for example. So every institution has been used by the power, the regime, to control you. Family, schools, religion, and also the military as the main political tool to control the state that can produce the legislative consequence to the lives of the people. But in everyday life of Thai people, this kind of thing is a kind that you cannot deny that it exists, and the oppression in Thai society, military the military regime, something like that, it isn't just only about the king controls the military, and the military control the government, and the government control the people, but they use every form of the societal the societal elements and their institutions to make people think in the same way. And this is why Uniformisierung der Weltanschauung und also der Meinung von allen. This is how it's going to be, and I would love to present this thesis as a way that we could understand the phenomenon of the Thai repressive regime throughout many lenses. And if you see, actually, it can also go beyond. For example, if you before I finish in a few minutes. So, for example, especially when it's about the gender, for example, or we have seen that the king and the queen of Thailand, since the King Rama IX, for example, in the modern state of Thailand. So the Thai state that work with the US so closely, and it's not just only politically, but I mean the societal aspect is also show that they try to represent a really heterosexuality in a kind of like a Mother Day, Father Day, some kind of really a middle class heteronormativity. There's a representation of the Mother Days and the Father Days as the Nation Day, and it's not the Mother Days as the Nation Day. So it's not Queen Sirikit that got the supremacy of this power. It's really a middle class or heteronormativity that use the patriarchal as the head of all the power. So it must be the king, it must be the man that could be on the top, and a man and woman, and not only not a lesbian perspective, not really like a non-heteronormative perspective. So the king of Thailand, I have to say that he is a kind for me, like working as a colonizer puppet of the US, and try to bring up all the value from the US, especially what you have seen, the economic model of Thailand is very neoliberal. The schools, so there are more private schools that are better than the public school. The hospital in Thailand, many tourists from Germany like to go to Thailand because when they are sick, so they go with the assurance to the private or something like that, and they get all the service. And Thai poor people have nothing, and without the policy of Thaksin about universal healthcare, so nobody could even go to these kind of things. And because of the US and the close tie between military government under the king control and also the US, so we have a really neoliberal state, rich people, poor people, and the fight against the military regime today is not just only that we don't love the monarchy, but we see that actually there's the inequality, injustice, social injustice in society. It's more about the social class. We had as a Kampf, we had a Klassenkampf, la lutte des classes, that exists in the Thai political context right now. It's more about how to make people have a better life and make the rich people, mean the king and the military, pay for the things that they should pay for the people. And that's my part. Thank you so much. If you have some question, we can advance it and develop it later.
Okay, thank you very much. Vielen Dank, Am. Jetzt bist du doch auf Englisch geswitcht, vielleicht ohne zu merken, aber ich glaube, die meisten konnten folgen. Ich fand es sehr interessant, weil du diese Militärmacht und die Macht der Monarchie eben nicht nur in ihrer repressiven Art erklärt hast, sondern erklärt hast, wie das die ganze Gesellschaft durchdringt. Also im Grunde die Gouvernementalität oder die Hegemonie, die schon in der Schule anfängt, mit der Uniformisierung, ne, sowohl des Körpers als auch der Gedanken. Und wie das eben sich durchzieht dann in der Gesellschaft, indem Menschen sagen, in diese Doppelmoral, in der sie leben, sagen vor allem, wenn sie ein soziales Standing haben wollen, sich dann sozusagen auf den König so beziehen in ihre eigenen Identitäten. Das finde ich sehr, sehr faszinierend und das gibt eine andere Perspektive, eine andere Tiefe zu den Debatten, die wir bisher hatten. Wir haben ja schon 2 Sessions gehabt, wo es sehr stark um diese Polarisierung zwischen Rothemden und Gelbhemden geht. Aber ich glaube, du bringst eine sehr interessante Perspektive rein, wo es auch um die Kultur geht und wie die soziale Technologie sozusagen funktioniert. Ne? Ich glaube, da sind sehr viele interessante Fragen, die die Leute haben werden, auch bezüglich deiner Analyse, wie das Militär und die Monarchie sozusagen zusammenhängen. Aber auch, du hast ein bisschen angedeutet, dass die Sachen sich verändern. Es ist ja auch nicht so, dass alle, die in der Schule waren, das mitgemacht haben. Du bist ein Beispiel. Du bist natürlich ein sehr mutiges Beispiel dafür, dass eben eine junge Generation von Thailänderinnen sich gegen diese Ideologie auflehnt. Du sprichst dich für eine sozialistische Republik aus. Das machen wahrscheinlich die wenigsten. Aber es ist sehr schön, dass wir in diesem öffentlichen Raum auch so eine Position offen diskutieren können. So, ich gebe jetzt einfach ab an die Studenten und an die Gäste und wir können Fragen stellen und Am wird sicher noch viel zu erzählen haben. Ja, ich denke, erstmal können alle sich so melden und sprechen und wenn es überhand nimmt, dann greife ich ein.
Also ich würde gerne anfangen mit meiner Frage, und zwar, was mich wirklich interessiert wäre, was ist denn im Text stand etwas von dem Militär und die Monarchie stehen in einer politischen, ökonomischen, symbiotischen Beziehung. Und da sind auch Begriffe gefallen wie Network Monarchy oder Trusted Military Figures. Und das hat mich an die letzten Vorlesungen in der Politik in der Mongolei erinnert, wo wir die Formen von Korruption besprochen haben, wo es um den Drehtüreffekt und um die Wettenwirtschaft ging. Und deswegen wollte ich fragen, inwieweit auch Korruption in diesem Problem eine Rolle spielt. If I again explain the question, I read the text, and the text said something about the military and the monarchy had some kind of interest, and they use a network monarchy and trusted military figures. And the question was for me now to find out what kind of role that corruption play in this kind of problem, because we heard of politics in Mongolia and discussed the forms of corruption of favoritism and also another part of revolving door effect.
Would you like to respond directly?
Yeah. Interesting. Actually, when you saw the situation before 2006, when Thaksin was very contested by the opponents, especially for the protester, the priority of the opponents against Thaksin is the corruption. It's about the Thaksin government made the country suffer from this corruption. Thai people need to fight against corruption, but with the time and all the proofs and the agreements that have been discussed in the society, it's come to the answer that no, corruption, there's both sides. There's a kind of like a better corruption and the worst corruption. Sorry, I hear something from someone microphone. Sorry. So I mean that yeah, for many people from both sides, they do agree that yeah, there's corruption, the better corruption that make people be able to live have the free healthcare like Thaksin things, and the bad corruption like Prachatipat Democrat Party government that doesn't do anything, never ever did anything for the people welfare. So that's a kind of like the people that have the understanding about corruption. But when it doesn't work, what is the next argument that they use to attack politically Thaksin and the red shirt group, and also those who do not support the military or the regime, is the less majesty, is that you don't love the king. Actually, Thaksin is the person that want to become the president of the state, and this how the context of Thai political situation seem to be different than the case like in Mongolia or the post-Soviet Union countries, kind of that. So right now, people just want to go back to the monarchy. I mean, today is not a big thing. It's not a big part of Thai population because many express themselves publicly that they don't want monarchy. But the small part of the society that seem to be very culturally dominant, I mean, yeah, they are louder than us politically. I mean, the royalists that have every capital to control us. So they will say that we need to go back to the monarchy because, yeah, firstly, the monarchy teach us to be good person, and also they will never ever have the corruption because the king think about the goodness of the people. For me, it's a kind of the taste of a Plato, a kind of like a philosopher king, some kind of this that the opponent try to do all the stuff that the Thai king is the richest king in the world comparing to many rich king from the oil country. And yeah, this kind of corruption seem to be something, yeah, the secondary but important. I mean, it's still an important element to attack the others, but in the same time, the priority of the defense of the existence of the absolute monarchy regime is, yeah, how the goodness has been made by the king, and we need to maintain it. This the ideology of the other side that I have seen.
Thank you. Also vielleicht kann man sagen, Kevin, dass also diese Beziehung ja strukturell schon korrupt ist zwischen Militär und Monarchie, aber das, was Am eben erklärt hat, ist, dass Korruption auch noch sagen, politisiert wird als Waffe gegen die andere Seite und vor allem eben gegen das Thaksin-Lager. Das ist, glaube ich, für Thailand ganz gut zu wissen. So, jetzt weitere Meldung. Fang.
Ja, zuerst auf Deutsch. Danke, Om, für die sehr interessante Aufführung. Was mich interessiert ist, gibt es da Bemühungen oder Versuche aus der Zivilgesellschaft gegen dieses Regime of Fear anzukämpfen? Und die zweite Frage damit zusammenhängend ist, es geht ja nur um die Äußererscheinung, ne, die Uniformierung, wie man die Haare trägt und so weiter. Und dann gibt es Stoffe und Sanktionen. Sind da auch Codes auch noch damit verbunden? Das heißt, ob die Regierung versucht, über Verordnungen aus der Regierung, vom Ministerium, die Schüler, die Studenten an bestimmte Vorgaben zu führen, zu interpretieren. Das ist auf Deutsch, okay? So ist nochmal auf Englisch.
So the first question was what kind of resistance there is in civil society against this regime, and the second question was the whether, I didn't quite understand it, Fang. What was the second question? Whether there is specific...
The second question, right, the second question is related to the codes, related to the appearance of the students at the school. They have to wear the uniform, they have to have their hair so and so in this certain way, and otherwise they will be punished and so on. my question is focused on whether the government try to indoctrinate them per ordinance or something like that, per law from the ministries of education or something like that.
Okay, so it's also about the indoctrination in the curriculum of the schools, not just the uniforms, but also the content, yeah?
Beyond the appearance of the...
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I agree that the content in school is real, how to say, counter-revolution, is against the revolution. For example, when you try to talk about the Siamese revolution in 1932, so they will say that Thai people were not ready at that moment to have democracy. If you see the current regime, you will see that democracy brought us just only the trouble, never have a good consensus between two sides, always divide to left, right, to yellow or red or orange, something like that. So we need to go back to the uniform society. It's mean only king and slave. That's the same way of how Thai people should behave and live in that kind of society. Yeah, the content seems to be really against the revolution of Canada, the leaders of the Thai Siamese revolution group, and also against all the moral in general. I mean, when you study about the sexuality in the textbook, it's always people who are LGBT are disabled and normal people. You should not be friends with Thai LGBT kids because they are crazy and abnormal. So in 2020, it's still like that. When the Western people think about the LGBT, it's about paradise, Thailand is paradise of LGBT. But actually, in the textbook, it's really repressive in every way. You have to believe Buddhism that is seen like the best religion in the world, the king the best in the world, and also in other parts of Thai culture we are really unique, and also some of the festival are really Thai, not Cambodian, not Laosian. We have all uniqueness of Thainess. So something like that, yeah. But what I try to say is that the form of punishment and correction that seem to be clear is not only appearance, but it's about how they control the mentality, especially when you want to express yourself, your identity, but you could not even do that. So you get punished and corrected and humiliated by the correction of the state. So the school and the family try to punish you, as I say that, the family is ready to punish, to hit you when your kids do not listen to you, and the school also in the same time try to control it and make people think that everyone needs to be in the same way of thinking. I mean, when you have your own opinion on the textbook, something like that, it's something a bit abstract, but what the power can see that everyone follows the rule is how the appearance of how you follow the orders of the state, and behave all the same, even though inside your mind you may think differently from what they taught you in the public school or in any kind of school in Thailand. But if you show yourself up to the society that I don't wear the black clothes during the Thai king ceremony, morning ceremony, something like that, is a kind of the thing that you will be punished and killed, even though right away by the public. A kind of lynch charge, a kind of like a public shame, some kind of things. And this how the people, even though you don't love the monarchy, and many people of us, we seem to be the majority because we won a lot of election all the time in this last 10 years. So the red shirt or the group against the monarchy, and also against the traditional regime. So we are more than the people who support the regime, but we still have to show ourselves to the public for the survival. And this how the monarchy make you feel very lonely, not lonely only, but to feel very very weak. And when you feel politically weak, you become marginalized, you become the march of the society, and you become abnormal, even though you are normal. And this how the minority of the regime of the minority controls the minority people throughout the rules, the laws, as you have said, the orders, and also all the punishments, and also the correction. And it's the same things as the heterosexuality and how they control the society. Gay people have been seen abnormal and got punished by laws. Today, people are going to change. In Thailand, we, as like a LGBT women, we have to say that we are normal not to love the king. And that's the right of the people to say that the king needs to be gone, for example. And we will not stay illegalized because we don't love the king anymore. And this is how it's going.
I had a question concerning intersex and non-binary people, because you said that they were uniformized in school. So I wondered what it looks like. How are they uniformed, or do they just have to like choose a gender in which they're going to dress, or does the politics just apply, like this is what you'll have to wear no matter how you identify, or how is it handled?
So as is a really authoritarian regime, even the choice of choosing the uniform you don't have. I mean, transgender and non-binary people still suffer from being forced to wear the uniform according to their sex assigned at birth by the medical body. Mm-hmm. I mean, by medical body say le corps médical. It doesn't mean your body, but it's like the institution, the medical institution. Mm-hmm. So it means that nobody has the right to be themselves. So uniform is very binary uniform, because if you have seen the picture of the uniform, it's something like the men wear something differently from women, and women wear skirt, men wear shorts, and also cut hair very short. It's very heterosexual and also very cis heteronormative. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments or just questions for
Yeah. Do you have any things? Otherwise, I will finish and I will just leave the message to the people who are watching us. As I said before the beginning of the how to say enregistrement, the recording of this video, actually, there are some good people in this place that come to join us. So I will not name them here directly, so that the recording will not show their identity directly. But thank a lot to the people who helped and organized this kind of discussion about the understanding of the Thai political situation. But most of all, the most important is that to put more visibility to the subject of the Thai regime that is killing more and more people. As I have said that there are more people getting killed in Laos, and I say that this repression isn't just only national border. It isn't limited at the national border of Thailand, but the repression nowadays is a transnational repression that they try to use everywhere to shut up the mouth of many people in exile. Is a kind of like in the past, how we see how Trotsky was killed, how many political opponents who fled out from Thailand got killed, poisoned, or something like that. So now today it's coming back again, the sentiments of fear, the regime of fear that comes across the border. Even the refugee who live already in entre guillemets safe country, Japan, Europe, US, or New Zealand, we don't feel safe anymore. And this the question about the sovereignty of the European Union. If Germany, France, and other countries that protect these refugee people will allow the people from outside to come and operate some of the killing, assassination, kidnap in this country. It's not only in Thailand. Today we see that the capitalist society nowadays there's a real things that happen to the people who are in exile. Vietnamese people get kidnapped in Germany, killed, sent back to their country. Thai people get attacked, and the state know what happened. But yeah, it's like there's more of the interest on something rather than protecting the victim of the and the survival from the regime that they fled from. So in order to be able to guarantee the rights of the people who are in exile, we need to have a more humanitarian governments that care more about the lives of the people, every people, especially for those like us who are living in insecurity, not just only caring about the profits or the money of the big business or company, something like that. We need a real action from these governments. When you try to pretend yourself that France, US, Germany, Sweden will behave better than some dictatorial country, yeah, but we need a real concrete things, right? Rich net distribution, wealth distribution, the protection of the real refugee, the real protection for the refugees and migrants in our country, and also the transparency about what these authoritarian regimes around the world do in your country. And this is something we will never see as long as we still live in the country that has been governed by the capitalist society that gives more power, benefits to some group of the elite people rather than contribute all the things to the people who are in need. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I want to say thank you to everyone.
Yeah, thank you. But I think we still have a bit more time for discussion, and I'm sure there are some more comments, a lot of different aspects. We have the heteronormativity, which is kind of connected to all the ideology of the king and the nation. And of course, also with the militarized society, it's also, of course, very heteronormative. But we also have these questions of the how military and the monarchy are connected exactly, but also the perspective of how people are challenging this. So maybe I would be quite interested in your opinion of the student movement which developed before the Corona crisis hit Thailand. So it seemed that at last the students were going back onto the streets and they were occupying their campuses. So what do you think of this movement?
Very interesting, very interesting. Thank you so much, Oliver, for the question and the comments on that. Actually, I admire all the students and all the people or working class people or any kind of people who try to change something in this difficult situation. So as you have seen that Thailand, we live under the U.S. domination with the collaboration with the king and everything for a long time since the Cold War, something like that. And there are some of the legacy that still exists today. For example, the hierarchy of the social movement, for example. A lot of people who are able to lead the movement today, it's very hierarchical. So because I do the comparison as well with some of the social movement, for example, in France, since May 68, in May 68, something like that. Yeah, it's a kind of the same, like there's a capitalist society that creates a group of elite people, students who come out and try to change. But people in France try to deconstruct this kind of narrative of the middle class social movements domination that in May 68, it's not about the student want to fuck each other. It's not about because we live in a different dormitory assigned by gender, but it's about the grève générale. It's about the general strike. And it's how the people are not okay with the economic, political situation at that moment. It's a kind of like when the time passed by, so all the things it's become summarized into the middle class way of thinking, very bourgeois, that it's student lead the society. In Thailand, as we live more radically in the capitalist society for a long time, and this kind of legacy of the middle class social movement is still like that, a kind of like cult of personality, how the people give some of the value, attribute some value to some group of the people rather than another group of people. For example, if you have seen that I admire every action and we need to support this student, but in the same time when I try to analyze with a kind of like the way of thinking about la lutte des classes, how to say class and Kampf. So I always see in mind that, for example, if it's about the students who come out to protest since even before the 2016, so we will be seen as innocent, as clean, as really a pure movement that was not controlled by anybody. But when it is about the rural people who came into Bangkok and protest in 2010, like the red shirt, or poor people who are not uneducated, or people who are seen like, or people who never graduate from bachelor degree, something like this. When they came to Bangkok and protest, they will be seen that, oh, you are paid, they gave you money, Thaksin gave you money, you were people or slave of Thaksin, so you don't know, anything about politics, you are just stupid, and you don't deserve the right to vote. This is how the narrative was made during that moment. But when it's about the student, sometimes they will say, yeah, you're a student, you are pure, but you were paid by someone, or someone manipulate you. Maybe you are pure power, but you don't understand things. It's a kind of to make you feel that you are naive in politics. And this is a kind of the thing that I think many students in Thailand try to say, no, we are not naive, but we understand that it's not okay. But to be able to achieve a real fight for class for everyone, I think that the student need to be in solidarity with the working class people. We cannot dissociate ourselves from the misery that most of Thai people suffer during the coronavirus, especially poor people die before students. I mean, yeah, there are students who are poor, yes, but most of the people who suffer the most from the repression of the military regime, the control of coronavirus that is not effective for the poor people, is the people who live day by day in Thailand. There's a lot of people who live outside the mainstream economical function. I mean, people who just sell something on street, as you know, when we talk about Thailand, wow, street food, but that are the people who will die first, because they don't get any protection from the state. And students need to fight with these people and let this group lead each other together, not one group that leads another. And this how things should be done. But yeah, we understand that the legacy of the bourgeois democracy of Thailand is it still creates some kind of the binary and also the dualism between one group, the leading group, and also the follow group. It's the same as I mentioned about the how the cultural structure of Thailand try to make us to be the follower and those who lead. For example, there's an institution that say you need to wear the uniform like this, so you follow. So they say to you, love the king, and then you follow. So yeah, follow Buddhism. Everyone have to pray for Buddhism at 8 o'clock every day. So everyone pray at school at 8 o'clock without any questioning the leader or the leading orders that have been given by the authorities. So it's the kind of the thing when it's about the democratic movements. Even though we are different from the people who support the monarchy and the repressive regime, but there's some kind of the legacy of this kind of hierarchy that still exists in our movement, and that's good to support our group. But in the same time, self-critics is a thing that we need to have also in our movements, and it's not to destroy our movement, but to develop how we can come beyond the oppression inside our group. In the same time, for example, as a woman activist, trans woman activist in Thai society, it's so difficult because even in democracy, in democratic group, there's also the transphobia, there's also heteronormativity, patriarchal, and also people who, in the past, there's some activists that rape another woman, something in the groups, accused of raping against one person, and the people shut their mouth up. They don't speak out because it's friend of us, because this guy is a activist student, something like that. And this kind of things that already happened in Europe, like in 68, in 70, feminist movement that try to protest some of the male communist friend comrades. Is a kind of the thing that's happening in Thailand. But we who are minority in the minority group, minoritized people in the minoritized group, we are living in a more sphere of oppression, and people in our group may treat us as you are threat, you try to sell our group, or why you attack our group, why you don't support the leader of the group. It's a kind of the things like this that should be discussed maybe in the next topics, but it's interesting to analyze all the movement, even in our own movements.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Interesting points, important points. So I think we have time for one more comment or question. Wolfgang, yes.
Yeah, thanks. That was a great presentation, and thanks for your insights. I would like to go back to what already Oliver pointed at, right? That there's obviously there is some there are some resources in the anti-heteronormativity discourse that some people who are in the opposition now are tapping on. But at the same time, if I remember correctly, it was in 2014, so after the coup d'etat, that there was a legal initiative to to have a civil union, a same-sex marriage or same-sex partnership law in the junta-appointed parliament. So there seems to be quite at least different strands of homosexuals and gay, lesbians, LGBTIQ queer tendencies that some of them actually closely cooperating and others being in opposition. Do you have more information on on this kind of diverse positioning of LGBTIQ people in Thailand?
Thank you so much for Wolfgang. Actually, before this, I want to mention your name, but as I don't know if you are okay to say it. I have to thank you also for many things you have done for us. And thanks for the pink-washing question that how the junta wants to pink-wash their dirtiness and their dictatorship, especially for those who try to cooperate with them. Those are the people who are collaborate with the regime. I mean, it's really disgusting to see that some group of the minoritized people, it's very reluctant with these people, because in the same time these people expect the democratic government, even before Thaksin, for example, to do something, push something for the society, something like that, but never ever get the good response and good answer from the democratic. I mean, democratic here is not the real definition of democratic that I want to mean, but I mean from our understanding of the democratically elected in the capitalist society. So for me, there's no real democracy when there's the capitalist. That's sure. And I will use this term to define that the democratic, not the non-military government, they never ever respond positively to the response to the demand from the NGO LGBT movement. And the thing is that it's also the same legacy of the bourgeois democracy. It's like those who are activists in the NGO, in the mainstream NGO, fighting for gender equality, feminism, something like this in Thailand. They have been those who have more capital, cultural capital, economical, everything than the poor people. And once they get into the power of the NGO position, for example, friends of letzten, some kind of that. Those are people who are from the same generation. It means even though you're progressive or not, but you are in the NGO, it means you get some kind of the things that some of the normal people will, or ordinary people will not get this point of power. So these people have grown up with all of the stuff more than people, and some of people may support the democratic camp, but many of them, as they are middle class, they graduate from university, and they thought that, oh, it's dirty to let politicians do like this. We already submit a lot of demand. Yes, this law for women, this law for LGBT people, this law for preserving the national areas, all the things, but it hasn't been passed by the government, non-military government. So right now, politicians enough. We need a new power that can change the thing better and fast. And when it's about fast, it's because dictatorship can do anything faster. So they try to do the lobbying with the junta, because they think that sometimes junta, they may not care when we send them something, they get passed without reading even what is on the text, something like that. But they are wrong, because with the pinkwashing intention of the junta, yes, they just want to say that we are better, we are progressive, more progressive than the non-military governments. But in the same time, it's just the facade. It's just like a facade, right? La façade. It's just something that they want to show to the public, to say that, we will be the first country that do it. But actually, Taiwan already did have a marriage equality. And also Thailand, since 2014 until today, the LGBT activists in the NGO groups that support the junta for a long time, they are disappointed. Today, I think many people, I heard from a sex worker group in Chiang Mai, they told the NGO that this group, one of the person in this group told other NGO activists that, no, don't support the military government, they never really care about us. But those people, no, how about Thaksin? He doesn't care as well. And here, the military, they may change things because they don't support these people. So they got into the trap of the junta. But after 3-4 years, so my friend who are from Chiang Mai told that now they cry. They say that, oh, if I knew that, I wouldn't have support the military government. So right now, until today, I think many people are enlightened. But the military, until today, they never care really about the things. And today they are still talking about to put an act on the civil union separately from the laws about marriage. So they will not change it, the marriage laws, but they will just create another law to provide the rights to do the civil union. But until today, there's no advance on that. They are always talking. But it's about time, because in the same time, it's become the norm. Military try to use it, but right now, during the campaign for the legislative election last time, so many of the party, like they try to talk about this, Pheu Thai, Future Forward, Park Saman Commoner Party. So right now, many of the groups in Thailand, I think they are thinking that we deserve to have a right that we deserve, and many of LGBT people become more visible. And sometimes here we see that there's a question also with visibility and the real put in place of the things, the implements of the system that can allow us to have the rights. So now we have more visibility for some LGBT people in the political sphere. There are some of the a transgender or MP from Future Forward, and there are some kind of LGBT people in parliament that do the coming out. So it's the phenomenon that never happened before, because right now the world is changing. And also, many groups of the party allow these people to be themselves. Actually, we don't need allowance because it's what we deserve already. But the visibility of this sometimes, it's good. But what we really want as a LGBT group is that we need something put in place and implement in real, not just the visibility, because it's like what you say. in some countries they're like half women, half men, but in the same time some of the women still behave and act with the patriarchal mentality, and at last it will not change the thing. Yeah, but it's better than nothing actually.
Great, thank you very much. I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. So big thank you to Am for coming and giving this very interesting presentation. A lot of different aspects, a lot of interactions between democracy, class, and sexuality. So a lot of things to think about, I think, for the students and for the people who joined the session. This video will be online from next week, Thursday. So tomorrow in 1 week's time at the YouTube Bonn University channel. So you can share that with your friends or people who didn't make it tonight. And I'm very glad that you mentioned the Future Forward Party at the end, because now I can quickly move on to the next session, which is next week. It'll be about the rise and fall of the Future Forward Party, and the speaker will be Duncan McCargo, who is also quite a famous Thai expert in a very different way. He's an academic, and he's written lots of quite good books about Thailand. Yeah, he's one of the leading academic experts on Thailand. He's well known for his theory of the network monarchy, which also was mentioned today in the discussion. So he'll be talking about the rise and the fall of the Future Forward Party, and I'm sure it'll be a very interesting talk. So please join us next week. And yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and see you next week.
Thank you so much, Oliver, and everyone. Bye bye. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a nice evening.
Bye.